Today we're going to go ahead and try to install the Luxe tail light divider decal kit. I ordered this from Luxe about 3 days ago and it arrived in the mail today, so I'm pretty impressed with the shipping. So they sell different kits. I think you can just get a 1-piece. This one here is a 3-piece. So you'll have your bottom layer, which is right here. Then you'll have a layer that you'll install on top of that. So bottom layer that goes on top of that. And then I got the Hellcat logo that'll go right there. So when you order the kit, this is what I got. Send you a little squeegee, little cloth, and some prep fluid and clean fluid. So I've worked with vinyl before on my Mustang. My wife and I had installed some center stripes, vinyl center stripes, and some 3M clear vinyl protective on the bottom fenders and rocker panels. But don't have a lot of experience with it. But if you go to the Luxe website, I think this kit was $49.95 or $49.99. There's a install video there you can watch in case this turns into a disaster. Got all my materials laid out over here to include a heat gun. First thing I'm going to do is, even though I've already cleaned this area and prepped it when I removed the badging, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to clay bar it now because I washed the car since then. I've driven it and washed it, and I'm just going to go ahead and clay bar it, make sure I get everything off. Again, always make sure you're using clean clay. When it comes to clay, more lubrication than you need is better than not having enough. True, like a lot of things in life, I guess. So again, this area was already clean and prepped at one point. Once I took the badging off, I even went ahead and buffed it out using a light compound and a white pad. So it's already pretty clean. So we should be okay in that area. And this stuff, this plastic, I'm telling you, it scratches super easy. I had it completely scratch free once I was done buffing it out, and there's already small scratches on it. But we're about to cover that up, and if the day ever comes that I decide to take this off, we'll be okay, I guess. I'll just go ahead and buff it again. So now take a little bit of prep fluid, which according to what they have here is alcohol and water. So just going to go ahead and make sure the area is good and clean. When you're doing this, I suggest just take a squeegee. You already see some dirt here. just get the top, because your one vinyl layer is gonna fold slightly over. The second layer is gonna fold slightly over on top and on bottom. Okay, so when you get these layers, if you watch the instructional video, they're going to tell you to go ahead and take a squeegee, lay it down on a flat hard surface and run your squeegee over it, because you see all these little cuts of vinyl. Once you get this area prepped, you've got to lay this over on top, and you're going to have to peel the top layer away. So I imagine it can be kind of a nightmare. So what we'll do, take the application fluid, apply liberally. When you peel this away, kind of go at an angle and downward, and just take your time, because you don't want any of those small vinyl pieces to get stuck to the backing like it is right there. Thought I'd done a pretty good job. So what we might have to do is attack it from a different angle now, as that piece is not wanting to stick. So hopefully, now I got quite a few pieces here actually that don't want to stick. Again, just take your time. Okay, now that we got that down, go ahead, just spray it down again, spray this down. And this center piece right here, you're just going to want to line it up with your button, with your trunk release button. You're going to want to try to get it as center as possible. You see these corner pieces, you gotta make sure that there's enough room for them. Once you think you got it centered, again, check these corner pieces, because these are small cuts and those can get away from you real easy. You don't want to go through the hassle of getting it laid down and realizing you miss something and got to go back and redo it. That would be a real pain. Again, I am about as novice as you can get with this stuff, so excuse me, if I'm able to do it, anybody should be able to do it. Excuse me. Sorry for the lighting. It's kind of hot out today, mid-September, and it's still in the 90s in the Midwest. But shouldn't complain. Another couple months, we're going to wish we had warm weather again because of all the cold weather and probably the snow. So once you do this, I just kind of work my way from center out. Again, remember those corner pieces? You don't have to apply a lot of pressure at this point. And then once I'm there, I'll start going up and down. Gonna keep going till I feel this backing. At least this is what I'm doing, until I kind of feel the moisture. I've kind of worked it out. Okay, so I think I'm pretty good there. Take the heat gun, put it on low, just run it over. It's probably been easier to do without trying to film. That way I wouldn't be talking, I could just concentrate on what I'm doing. But a lot of you guys out there that are smarter than me will have no problems with something like this. I already got a problem. Small piece here. Didn't want it here. And now it's folded in on itself. So looks like I'm doing this one by eyes, boys and girls. So I'm going to set that right there. Perfect example, guys. Nothing ever works out perfectly the first time for us beginners. Trial and error. Actually, I'll stick it to the paper right there. So when you peel this away, just go nice and slow. And I can already tell this is going to do the same thing to me up here. So I'm going to keep hitting it with some heat. And the guy in the video gives a real good piece of advice. You start taking this off, it's not working, you start getting frustrated, put everything away, walk out of the garage for a while. Just let it set up on its own, because it will set up. concerned about are these corner pieces, these little cuts. Because I already had one go wrong on me. That one stuck, so let's try this again, boys and girls. Now they say when you pull it away, just go slowly and pull down. Don't just pull it out like that, because if there is a part that's still stuck to this backing, it's going to come off the backing, then you're going to be doing it by eye, like I'm going to have to do this little piece down here. So again, just kind of working my way up to one point, nice and slow. Okay. Oh, there's the bottom layer. Now I'll take this little piece and try to figure out where I'm putting it. Okay. That almost looks right. And of course, that didn't work. Put a little bit more fluid on it, see if I can get it to move around on me. Could peel it up, but I really don't want to. It's not exactly where I want it. But good enough for government work, as they say. I'm not real happy with this little piece right here. It came off on me. Again, that's my fault. It's not the product's fault. I just got a little bit of a rush, and I shouldn't have. I ignored my own advice. Didn't go slow. So, hit the area with some heat. Make sure we get everything out. Help these areas stick. Not really, you're not rubbing. We don't, in case there's a loose piece in there, we do not want to move it. But since the next piece goes on dry, we do have to make sure that these are laid down really well. So once we've done that, we'll just spray the area down with our prep fluid. Again, we got some greases and oils from our hands on there. We don't want any of that stuff sticking to the bottom of our layer. Might keep it from, or bottom of our second layer, could keep it from laying down the way we want it. So we're just slightly dabbing. I'm not real happy with that one right there. It's almost like the piece, I know it wasn't at an angle, but it's almost like over here the vinyl was laid higher on the paper than it was over here. So we'll see what the finished product looks like once we get there. So again, this layer goes on dry. So I think it's going to be very important that we get everything matched up perfectly. So, as they say in the game, nothing to it but to do it, right? So got a couple parts from our microfiber laid down right here. Make sure I get all this stuff out. If not, it's going to be trapped. Always something, guys. I am not a patient person, but I like doing projects like this because it makes me be patient. And I don't think you guys are going to be able to see this on film, but somehow smallest edge of this piece right here came up. Again, always something. Just like over here. Okay. So now we got to peel this off. And I've worked with dry vinyl before, and I absolutely hate it. So for you guys that can do it and you make a living at it and it's nothing but a thing for you, good for you, man. Because it drives me up a wall. Okay, quick once over. Make sure I'm not up too high, which I think I am. Guys, this is not going as planned. Might have to get the wife out here. She hates doing this stuff, but man, is she good at it. So it looks like I'm lined up. No, not really. But I have the feeling that when these center pieces are going to come up, these bottom pieces, I mean. This with some heat, get it straightened out a little bit. Okay, I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it, boys and girls. It's all over but the frying right now. if I have to order this again. My wife will be crying. She does not like me spending money on car stuff. But she's a good troop. She's a good sport about it. Okay. So, what he does in the instructional video, he just grabs a corner and he starts tearing it, again pulling at a downward angle. It's not pretty, but at this point I guess it really doesn't have to be. Okay. So you can see what you got here is that bottom layer is embossed now. And it should be just like any other vinyl product you lay down, like these little air bubbles we got in here. Once we hit it with some heat, then after it sits in the sun, I would think most of them will disappear. Let me get a different squeegee. This one's getting clogged up on the end. These tops are what we want to be careful with. I'm going to lay them over with my finger first. And I'm kind of going in an angle, pushing slightly into the side so I don't get any wrinkles. Same on the bottom. Now, once I get that laid down, avoided the wrinkles, which is what I was most afraid of. And I'll come in and I'll lay it down flat. Good thing about the bottom is, should that not work as planned, we can lift the trunk up and work on that, get to that area, do some cutting if we had to. So now what you want to look for is all these little parts that are on your bottom layer. You just want to make sure they're sticking through as clearly as possible. So hit it with some heat is what I'm going to do. He does the same thing in the instructional video. And just kind of work the areas with your fingers, your thumbs, whatever. Again, don't keep the heat directly to it, because it is vinyl. Just kind of warm it up a little bit with a little bit of heat, then push. So, okay, we got the area clean, so we'll get it wet again. I was contemplating not wetting that, because what it does is it hides the outline of where you're trying to put the cat head, or the Hellcat head. But with the way this project's going so far, I figure what the hell. So again, Hellcat head's the same way. You see a part right there that doesn't want to peel up for me. Nice and slow. So that's wet. Get our cat head wet. And then you know what, guys, I'm going to try something on my own. This is one of those, man, if you got this part wrong, good luck. Because you are not going to get this cat head to come up on its own. So, we'll be happy with what we got right now. Right now, I don't have a lot of confidence in my work. That's never a good thing. Again, I'm far from being an expert with this kind of stuff. I watched that video on Luxe website probably 4 or 5 times, knowing that when it came to me, I was going to run into issues. And this cat head's going to be finicky, guys, so it's so finely cut that you just got to be very, very careful. Nice and slow. Again, don't pull out, pull down. parts here with this vinyl. When I had to cut out the, when I had to cut it off the backer. Not a big problem. So I think we're done, boys and girls. I'll probably be working on this thing for another week, trying to get these bubbles, get everything just the way I like it. And then, knowing me, one day I'll get in one of those moods, because I get in those kind of moods where I'm like, man, I could have done better, and I just rip the whole thing off and go at it again. For the sake of saving an argument, let's hope I don't do that. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's the Luxe cover, rear cover. Go to their website. They got a bunch of stuff, cool stuff. I've got the taillight tint, just the center part. I'm gonna go ahead and lay that down. Excuse me. I'll do a video on that. If you learned anything in this video, you probably learned what not to do more than what to do. But hey, again, I'm a beginner, just trying things out, seeing how things go. If you learned something, you like it, like, subscribe, come on back, 'cause I'll be making more. Thanks, guys. See you soon.